because y'all know what it is.
CNN Trap News Network.
I was with Rich Trapper.
I flex with you.
Warning, this video is for satire, educational, and comedy use only. It is not intended to be actual fact, nor is it intended to give real meaning to any of the questions you ponder about late night.
Most important thing, a lot of times when it comes to news, reporting, blogging, however you want to word it, credibility is the most important thing. A lot of
credibility has been lost within our news space.
people use different things to bolster their credibility, whether it's the neighborhood they from, the institutions that they were incarcerated at, the people that they know. It's all different types of tactics that people use to bolster their credibility. In this case, the case of Big Eddie Boy, one of the main things that was used to bolster his credibility is not simply the fact of where he's from or that he knew Big U, but the fact that there was actual documentation showing that this guy and Big U had been involved in some type of legal situation together. So, people like, well, damn, if Big U caught a case with him, then this must really be one of his homies. He must really know something. So when people are looking for an informed opinion about Big U, regardless of their standing as of right now, because Eddie Boy is saying Big U told on him, regardless of that standing, they still go to Eddie Boy because they feel like he might have some insight that others don't have.
And it's crazy because Eddie Boy makes it a point to lie on Big U every chance he gets.
And originally, I thought he was, genuinely just covering the situation and that he was actually rooting for Big U in this situation. Not rooting for him in the sense of, let Big U out, free Big U if he did it or not, but I actually felt like he was saying, no. Hey, I don't think that he did this stuff, So that was my take originally. But as time has gone by, I've noticed that this dude is more associated with Whack and 600 and the exposers, if anything, and that he wants to give off the impression he's giving an unbiased opinion. But in reality,
for whatever reason, it seems like Eddie Boy's been victimized by Big U some sort of way, and now he's like a scorned baby mama. And he's like, meanwhile, this nigga's putting his hands on me. It's kind of the vibe he gives.
Part of that crew that's trying to take Big U down. This is just my take on it. Today, I'm going to let y'all hear a few clips. And y'all know how I do. I'm going to chime in. But I want y'all to pay close attention to the things that he's saying, because these things have a lot to do with credibility. Without wasting any more time, let's get to it.
But I'm going to tell you how cold the federal government is, man. These dudes, bro, you could be playing ball somewhere. You can be at dinner somewhere. You can be out with your kids somewhere. You can be somewhere at work. You can be somewhere, anywhere you have to be, bro. They will calmly push you.
Isn't it weird how Eddie Boy's face is always covered like he's some sort of like yexual So like, bro, it's weird, bro. Super extra ultra weird. Like extra ultra weird with a cherry on top. This guy's odd.
On you, bro. I'm talking about calmly push up on you. They'll introduce themselves. They'll say your full last name. They'll know your history. They'll know everything about you, your movements, everything, who you're dealing with, who your friends, who your social is, your wife, your girlfriend, whoever it is, etc., etc., etc. They'll push up on you, bro. And if they want you to help them in any type of way, form, or fashion, they're going to start playing some of them wiretaps, bro. They're going to start playing some of them conversations that individuals talking records, talking bad about you, talking about what they want to do to you over the phone. They're going to make sure that they try to convince you to cooperate whatever they have going on, even though they may have an airtight case, but they still going to want you to try to cooperate because they're going to feel that that's another charge or another way for them to get that particular individual.
Now, I want to apologize for the quality of that audio, but I didn't want to.
Whatever reason, Eddie Boy decides to give his content from the bus station. Not really sure why he decided to do it that way, but Eddie Boy deemed it appropriate to give
to
us
try to clean it up. I ain't want to do nothing to enhance it, alter it in any kind of way, because then they could say it's AI or something like that, you know. So this is taken directly from a video on his channel. But I'm listening to this and I'm like, damn, this dude is describing how the feds approach you. You know, he's describing the situation
pretty convincingly like a nigga who's been approached.
that the feds will put you in when they are looking to get you to cooperate. Now, he ain't even saying you committed a crime. He like, man, they'll let you hear people talking about you, and you know, we'll get to that part. But I'm listening like, damn, where is he going with this?
So you guys got to understand, man, that these people, bro, they don't play fair, man. And they sometimes they come off very convincing. I'm talking about very, very convincing. Because once they start playing that stuff with recording for you, you be like, man, I know this. No, he did not. I know these dudes did not. And then the cool part about it is, when they play it for you, you're gonna know every voice on there, every voice, every individual that was on there. And the only reason they can't really charge these dudes because it's just a conversation. They haven't committed an overact or anything like that. But if you hear that tape and you file a complaint, they can charge you.
Now, the name of this video is like, don't let them fool you.
That is absolutely sick the way that Eddie Boy broke this shit down like a pound, ain't it? You gotta watch these niggas, fool, because it makes you just think, like, how the hell is Eddie Boy so knowledgeable about the situation? Niggas, you speaking from personal experience, we know that Eddie Boy has done a lot of police work in the past. We know that Eddie Boy has been working with WAC 100 and 600 when it comes to flu, flam, and skullduggery and larceny. So it just makes you kind of wonder, like, what do niggas really have going on in their free time?
You wiretaps are serious or something like that. But like I said, this dude sound like he's just describing the method in which the feds approach people. And it sounds like he is speaking from experience. It don't sound like he telling you something that he heard, or it sounds like he's literally speaking from experience in a situation like this. He's telling you how you're going to feel, what's going to be going through your mind. Unless he is psychic, he been through this shit before. But let's keep going though.
So my point being is,
I'm saying, like, he's sounding very, like, personal experience-y.
That when I was reading Big U paperwork yesterday from the prosecutor, they were saying that he was on the phone saying X, Y, Z, talking about his co-defendants, talking about the informants and stuff like that, bro. I've been warning you guys, man. Every time I come on here, I've been trying to give you guys a warning to the point, man. Look, man, you guys got to be careful, bro. You guys are under a whole bunch of scrutiny. I understand, man, that you guys, a lot of you guys talking about y'all team Big U. A lot of you guys talking about y'all rocking with him and stuff like that, bro. But pay attention to this, man. If you haven't done anything, and if you think you're doing something to help that man, you got to be careful, because you can be committing a crime if you don't know what you're really doing out here in this land, bro. You have to be careful, man, because this is a high-power case. This is a case, man, that they do not want to lose. This is an example. This is their stamp. This is their tool, bro, for the next 50, 60 years, man, dealing with the low-level fruit. And when I talk about the low-level fruit, I'm talking about the gang members.
And now we get to the good stuff.
And again, it just seems like this dude's whole plan, his whole point of principality, his whole 1-2 step, like Sierra, is centered around like cleaning up the streets. But then, like, on one end, he kind of goes about it like he wants to be a part of the streets. Like, he still wants to be involved. Like, he still wants to be accepted by these dudes. But then on the other end, he's like, oh, no, everybody's such a bad guy. I'm going to tell everybody. Like, Eddie Boy is, yeah, you can't trust nobody covering their face at all. But Eddie Boy is a very peculiar individual. A very, very peculiar individual.
This is a Big U supporter deterrent video. He's describing the way the feds, listen to this, y'all. He's describing the way the feds approach you and how they manipulate people into cooperating by playing audio of, people talking about them and stuff like that, right? And then he says, so yeah, if you thinking you doing something to help this dude, be careful, because you might be getting into a case. You might be getting into some trouble.
Yeah, it sounds like he's trying to cut off all his resources. Like he doesn't want anybody to be a supporter of him. Like he doesn't want anybody to be, any type of help to him. Anybody who could help him get about the situation. He wants to basically make it seem like you're going to be in trouble or you're going to find yourself in a twisted situation with the law. Should you choose to want to help this dude out, or should you choose to want to help this dude seek his liberation?
So this is basically a warning to anybody who may be supporting Big U, anybody who may be Team Big U, as he calls it, anybody who may just be looking at the situation and looking at the actual facts and not listening to the gossip. If you paying attention to this, you starting to see that this is a lot of gossip that they taking this man to court for. And this is a message to anybody who may be advocating for him, that the feds might be coming to see you. Now, I'm like, bro, what is the point of this? Because you come off as if you giving us an update on the case and you talking about wiretaps, and
but that's false. You're not giving us an update on the case. You're looking at the situation and you're giving us your version of the situation that is ultimately a slander campaign and a bunch of propaganda against this man. You haven't actually told us anything about the case. You haven't given us any new legal documents, any new motions. You haven't given us any rulings by the judge, or if any, pieces of information were suppressed or blah, blah, blah. It's like there's nothing like that. It's just telling you, you're just going on here saying, I don't like him, I don't like him, I don't like him, I don't like him. Don't be friends with him because I don't like him.
Get off into how the feds approach people, which has nothing to do with anybody on the internet. If you talking about the wiretaps that he's already in jail for, like you saying how that's damning evidence against him. What does that have to do with how the feds approach you with the wiretaps? So that sounded like some kind of hidden message, but yeah, this is a Big U deterrent. This is a Big U supporter deterrent. Now, why would a reputable, outstanding member such as this guy, although he claims to have turned his life around, why would somebody, a respectable man of this nature, be on here issuing out warnings for the feds? I want y'all to listen to something else that he said in this video. Pay close attention to this sequence of events, this sequence of words. Check this out.
They're not playing, man. And you guys have to be careful, bro. And if that dude Big U was up in there, man, on that phone like that, man, I don't know if he was or not. I don't know if that brother was that reckless. I don't know. Allegedly, I don't know, bro. But I hope he wasn't that reckless. But he was. If he was, bro, tell him.
Now, right here, he's saying, hopefully Big U wasn't that reckless on the phone. I don't know. He sounds like he has absolutely no.
But then again, here you are again speaking so definitively, and then now you hiding behind, I don't know. Like, Eddie Boy's just not a reliable source.
Clue of what was being said in these wiretaps at all. Now, listen to this.
Look at the boy Loose Cannon, right? You don't even hear from him too much or nothing no more. He probably got smart, or he got his phone privilege taken away. Hey, bro, anytime you're talking to somebody up in here on one of them jacks, bro, they're recording that stuff. You can't be nickel slick.
Duh, nigga, it tells you all calls are being monitored and recorded, goofball. Who would have thought that a jail call is being recorded? It's not the most shocking thing in earth.
They got over 20,000 wiretaps on their case. Not all pertain to the case. Some pertain to other information or other investigations. Some pertain to certain things that rules talking about what they want to do to certain individuals.
So that's the part that he's skipping over. Big U saying that he wants to whoop out Whack is now being used against Big U as this United States government has filed an assault charge. Eddie Boy is negating and skipping over the fact that Wack is actually in Big U's paperwork, as Big U has been officially charged with assault on Wack 100. And that's when he says what they're going to do to dudes and blah, blah, blah. No, it's not what they're going to do to dudes like a Baby Shark song. It's what he said. You see what I did there? It's what Wack is, making sure Big U is going to go to jail for. So when it comes to this Flu Flam, this Skulldug, and this Larson, let's just make sure that we're all aware of exactly what the facts of the case are, what the facts of the case are not, because again, Eddie Boy is leaving out pretty prevalent information when he's negating to tell us that Wack is again a victim in the case and an informant of the case. So that happened. So yeah.
Like unaliving and all that stuff, bro. They have all that on there, bro. They got some dudes up in there plotting and planning, running narratives on the internet on certain individuals. They got all that, bro. I heard it all. Bro. And the reason I heard it all, because you have to have friends in places. You got to always have friends in places. When you have friends in places, they care about you or something like that, bro, they're going to let you know what time it is. They're going to be like, hey, Ed, don't go around them dudes, man, they X, Y, and Z. They plotting on you, bro. They don't like you. They saying you know too much. They saying you know about all the back doors that happen in the neighborhood and in your generation. They're saying that you have the potential chance to go and say this and say that. They're saying that you want your brother out, and they feel that you're going to do this and you're going to do that.
You have friends in high places, and then you get to telling us how the police are telling you everything that niggas is saying about you. It sound like you an informant, bro. It sound like you working. I ain't gonna
Even though you
sound like your ass finna tell somebody right goddamn now.
Haven't done it yet, but they feel that you would do that. And these dudes be plotting and planning, bro.
Just that fast. In the exact same video, he went from, I don't know if Big U said this or that or was on the wiretaps doing this or that, I hope not, to, man, they got this much evidence and they got this many recordings and this many gigabytes, and I know I heard it all. I heard it because I got friends in places. What friends do you have in places that can allow you to hear some evidence, some wiretaps on a case like this right now, active, going on? What friends do you have? And then did y'all hear the sales pitch in there? Oh, they'll come. What his friends say to him, you hear what he said, what his friends be saying? Yeah, they think you would say this and you would say that and you know about all the back doors. Man, that shit sound like an advertisement. It sound like you was trying to put that out there like, yeah, hey, y'all want to know something, come holler at me. That's what that sounds like. While at the same time saying, hey, anybody who trying to help Big U, you going to end up with a case. They going to investigate you. This dude said they got wiretaps of them on the talking about running narratives on people on the internet. Like, you really trying to hey, this shit is dangerous. It's dangerous out here, y'all. And look, he was talking so good in this video that he made a really, really big slip up. He been talking about the feds and how they approach you and all this shit the whole time, right? Now, listen to this.
Pay attention to that. I'm going to tell you how cold the federal government is.
Yeah, Eddie Boy is going about this situation extremely flamboyant, Skullduggerous, and larcenous. And you can clearly see that he has an agenda, and it's entirely propagated around making sure Big U ends up with the maximum amount of time possible.
And I never caught no federal case, something like that. I got jacked up. Yeah, I did. I caught a gun case way long time ago, man, but it got dismissed by alhamdulillah because Baby Bro came and said it was his, that they were trying to charge me. But they dismissed it. But I never had a chance to basically go through that system or anything like that.
Now, I want y'all to pay attention to something, right? This dude just said, first of all, he said that he has had an encounter with the feds where they were trying to charge him with a weapon. He has had an encounter with the feds where they were trying to charge him with a weapon. Where is the documentation? If you have been in any type of interaction with the feds, especially where charges are related, whether somebody came and took the weight or not, for sure, if somebody did that, it's gonna be some documentation, something, a report, an investigative report. But you said it was dismissed, meaning that you was charged. So where's the case number? Why can't we, even if it's dismissed, it's still going to show on the record. It's going to be on the docket somewhere. So I'm calling cap as far as the charges. But I want y'all to pay attention to something else. This dude been in jail.
Now, when it comes to the charges being put against Big U, we really haven't seen anything substantial. Really haven't seen anything that's too crazy. They said that they had him for that body, but it doesn't seem like they really have him for the body. I know there's a lot of situations going on when it comes to how he handled money with the government and all that. So that's to be seen and all that. But the biggest thing that they were talking about was him allegedly having his body on him, and we've yet to really see that come into fruition.
For 30 years or something, 32 years or some shit. He always saying how long he been. I think it's 32 years. This dude been in jail basically since the 90s, right? The case with he and Big U happened back in the 90s. So if this federal encounter really did happen, then it would have had to have occurred prior to this situation where you and Big U were allegedly set up by somebody that you were dealing with. This case happened back in the 90s. I know the appeal happened in 94, so maybe 93, 92 when the shit actually went down. So look at this from this perspective. Eddie Boy has been charged or approached by the feds in exchange for a gun. I mean, in regards to a gun case. If you look at this paperwork, it says that Eddie Boy is the one who contacted these people that ended up being the feds. So
So Eddie Boy is the one who actually put the police into the situation, into the environment with Big U, not the other way around. That's incredible because Eddie Boy has maintained for the entirety of his time on the YouTube space that Big U was the one who put the police on him. But in actuality and tangibility, you see it's actually, in fact, Eddie Boy is the one who got the police involved into the situation with his tattletale and A double.
We know that you weren't in trouble for this federal gun charge or whatever it is that you're talking about, and you didn't call and set up a fake sting, you know what I'm saying, and get Big U wrapped up in your situation. Because you was going to jail anyway, it sound like. And this is just one instance that we can bring up from prior to this situation that you were involved in. You got other cases and situations that was going on prior to this situation with Big U. So for all we know, bro, you had these cases stacked up, piled up against you, and you needed to take somebody down before you went down to stop your sins.
That's really what it sounds like, nigga. You tried to throw the case on somebody else because you was finna get caught up with a flu flame.
From being life. How we know you wasn't finna get life and they just knocked it down to 32 because you faked like you was trying to buy some dope and brought Big U along and got him locked up too? That sounds pretty logical to me. Especially when you saying you got a federal history. You got a history with the feds of them trying to come pick you up and charge you with a gun, and your brother took the weight. Like, where the hell is the paperwork? Where's the documentation? If you show us that documentation, I'm pretty sure it's going to say that it's dated prior to this incident. So again, how do we know that you aren't the person who walked Big U into this federal sting or this sting?
It's crazy because Whack 100 is the one who introduced Eddie Boy into our space, and it makes you wonder if Whack was aware or knowing of the fact that Eddie Boy is a government informant, a federal informant, and they're, kind of working together to get Big U about this situation, because we do know that Whack has federal ties. We do know that Whack, in fact, does have federal indictment activities attached to his name. So here you now have Eddie Boy coming into the case, and it just seems like it's a whole setup from the beginning, man. It's a lot of intricate moves involved to keep Big U into a place where he's behind bars by these dudes.
Say federal, but how we know you didn't walk him into this thing to get yourself out of a bad situation? This is where credibility comes into play. And if you listen to this video, this dude don't got no credibility, man. So I get the message that you trying to put out, but Nobody worried about getting picked up by the feds or getting charged or nothing for speaking the truth in regards to somebody's case. Y'all dudes is so used to being able to get on here and run whatever narrative that y'all want to run, and people look into y'all because y'all from a specific place and have a specific background, that y'all don't know how to combat facts with facts. So now you trying to just intimidate and kind of like you trying to send little shots, the feds ain't scaring nobody, bro. What the hell the feds gonna do about breaking down some paperwork? So that don't even sound right. Talking about helping him and the feds to come get you. And man, we don't want to hear that shit. We want to hear about what happened with you with the feds. Where is that paperwork? Because I've been on Pacer. I went on the BOP site, all of that shit. Where is that? It doesn't even exist. Case number, none of that. So let's come up with that. And another thing I want to point out before I get out of here is the paperwork
It's crazy that none of Eddie Boy's paperwork can be found on Pacer. Nigga, you are doing your best to stay in the shadows, ain't you?
dropped on Eddie Boy when he was talking to the feds while in prison. That was the real feds that he was talking to. So here we have allegedly, prior to him catching his case with Big U, he was in a situation where the feds was on him about a gun. Somehow Big U end up wrapped up in a case where they trying to buy 15 keys and got 200,000 cash and all this shit. You know what I'm saying? So that sounds crazy. Then you get to prison and we still seeing documents popping up with your name on it, talking to some feds about dealings that people got going on in jail. Now you out here dealing with WAC 100 and all these guys trying to tell people about how the feds work, how they approach you, the information that they use.
That's sick, nigga. Now you over here trying to explain to us how the feds work when you are their top worker. That all being said, man, we can get up out of here to the next one. Chat, y'all been beautiful tonight, man. I'll be back later on tomorrow. Y'all know the deal is red dots to the left. You know the rest. News Network, I'm glad that you enjoyed that content. We heard the cries, we heard the complaints. Now we don't got no intro, but we do got an outro with the same information, man. Make sure that you are tapped in. Make sure you dropping comments. Make sure you dropping likes. Make sure you subscribing to everything we have going on here at TNN Trap News Network, because we will be giving away some more Chiliana once we hit that 40,000 membership, 40,000 subscriber, threshold. We're gonna make sure that we give y'all some Chiliana, man. So make sure that y'all stay tapped in. Make sure y'all stay looking out. Make sure y'all stay right here at TNN Trap News Network. The news you can use, the knowledge you're not finna get in nobody's college. Hit a like, hit a comment, hit a subscribe button for everything we got going on here at TNN Trap News Network. We're gonna keep you updated on what's going on these YouTube streets. You already know the deal, man. If you enjoyed this content, throw the red dot to the left. You know the rest. We gone.
Hi, I'm WAC 100. When I'm not snitching on the internet, I'm snitching in real life for your own personal home security. Call 1-800-WAC-ATTACK. We're first, law enforcement second. Hey, I'm Adam22. Got an extra soul laying around? Be like Doughboy and WAC 100 and sell yours today. One soul equals a lot of clout.